Hello and welcome to another episode of Dream Home Cooking. Today I have a simple, delicious menu. I'm going to show y'all how I make my stuffed bell pepper soup along with some savory herb donuts and then some delicious stuffed tomatoes. So I'm going to get started with the soup, and this is basically like a deconstructed stuffed bell pepper. And Mike and I have always loved stuffed peppers, and this is just a fun way to make it a little bit easier, not as much work, but it tastes delicious. So you're going to start with 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. I've got that kind of melting over a medium heat. Then to that, I'm going to add 4 bell peppers and 1 onion, and they're all chopped into bite-sized pieces. And I like to use 4 different colored peppers, the red, orange, green, and yellow, just because I think it makes it really pretty. But you can certainly just use 1 color. So to start with, you're going to saute all the veggies in the butter and the oil for about 8 to 9 minutes. And then we'll add the ground beef. All right, so these onions and peppers have been sauteing for about 8 minutes, just until they're, pretty soft, and it smells absolutely delicious. So then we're going to add 1.5 pounds of ground sirloin to the peppers. And then we're just going to continue to saute that, or brown the ground beef, and then we'll add the remaining ingredients. This is such a hearty soup, especially if it's a really cold day. It can be summer for me, though. I love soup. I could eat it every night. But this is one of those that is very, very filling and satisfying. And it makes about 8 to 10 servings. Okay, we'll let this burn up another 6 minutes. All right, so I've got the ground beef browned. Now I'm going to add 3 cloves of fresh garlic that I minced. And that just always smells delicious when you add the garlic. And then for a little bit of a thickening agent, I have a tablespoon of flour. I'm just going to dump in there. This soup also has rice in it. So for me, just for simplicity, I like to use that boil bag rice, but you can certainly cook your own. It's just another simple shortcut to make life easy when you're in a hurry. Okay, so now I'm going to add my round of seasonings. I've got a teaspoon each of salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and Cajun seasoning. Now, just like I always say, once this is all kind of simmering and almost done, you always want to give it a taste and make sure that you don't need to add anything else to it. All right, and then I'm going to add 3 beef bouillon cubes. I prefer those little granules that they have, but you can find them in the chicken granules, but the beef cubes, for some reason, or the granules are really hard to find. Okay, so then the rest of this is just dumping in the ingredients. Okay, so then we're going to add a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Got to get all that out of there. Okay, and then I've got a can of tomato soup. You can see it's very similar to the ingredients that you would put in a stuffed bell pepper. Okay. Then I'm going to add a can of beef broth, and I like to use the low sodium. All right, and then a crazy sounding ingredient, but it just gives it that nice little sweetness. I've got a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You just dump that in there. I like to put just a little sprinkle of cayenne pepper, but you can certainly leave that out if you don't want the heat. And then I'm going to get that stirred up before I add the water. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to let this simmer because the rice is already cooked. I don't want it to sit in there and get real mushy. So I'm going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes and then add the rice and then simmer it another 30 minutes. And so now I'm just going to add, this is 2 soup cans of water, or it ends up being about 22 ounces, I think. And there you go. And then when you add the rice later, it will thicken it up. And it's going to be delicious with these savory herb donuts that I'm going to show y'all how I make. So I'm going to put a lid on this and let it simmer, get a little cleaned up. And when we come back, I'll show y'all how I make the donuts.
Hey guys, come on in.
Hey Troy.
Yeah, let me show you around.
Wow.
You know, as the Acme Brick spokesperson, I get paid in brick. All the brick I want.
solid.
What? Too much? To get Acme brick quality, look for the Acme name. And here's the guest room. Hope you like a firm mattress.
My father started this business in 1977. The people that work for us is part of what sets us apart. All of our employees have experience. All of our plumbers have been with us for 10 years or greater. Our motto at Dean & Son is quality and service. We're going to do quality work. We don't leave people hanging. We're there when we're supposed to be. We're done when we're supposed to be. Living up to what you sell and service them after they pay you, that's where your integrity in the plumbing business comes.
Dean & Son Plumbing Company. Call today at 518-9780.
You know, years ago, we researched different cabinet companies. Wellborn was the cabinet company that we decided to go with. Wellborn has a lot of your custom style building like we did in the local cabinet shops years ago. You just can't go wrong with a product like that with Wellborn. On top of that, Wellborn has researchers that are out in the market every day. Their job is to see what's current in the market, what's selling, and what their dealers need to be showing in their showroom. So come out, let me help you design your kitchen with Wellborn products.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? Is it a cool breeze on a scorching day? Or a cozy corner on a cold night? That every room of the house is as inviting as the next. And the air is fresh and clean for everyone. That humidity is where it belongs. At Carrier, comfort means more than just the temperature.
Hello, I'm Annette Hale of Annette Hale's Indoor Comfort Systems, the lady with a team you can trust. Visit us online at indoorcomforthsv.com.
Okay, we're back and the soup is simmering, and now I want to show y'all how I make these delicious savory donuts. So you want to start with 1 cup of self-rising flour. You want to make sure that it is self-rising and not all-purpose. And then I've got, a couple of seasonings. I've got a teaspoon of salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. These are not sweet, they're not sweet donuts, they're savory. And they are delicious with any kind of soup, especially this one. Then I've got some fresh rosemary. You want to put about a teaspoon or teaspoon and a half, because rosemary fresh is really, really strong. I'm going to give that a stir. And then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And then 3 tablespoons of the cream cheese that is flavored. It's called chive and onion. It's pretty easy to find, and it's delicious. So that kind of gives these savory donuts that herby, creamy flavor. All right, and then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of buttermilk. And it's going to take a minute. I like to use a fork to mix this up. You want to make sure you break down that cream cheese, and you want the cream cheese to be at room temperature because it's so much easier to work with. It would be impossible to do it right out of the fridge. All right, and then, of course, I've got 1 egg. And I'm going to mix this up pretty well, but without over mixing it too. Just until you see that the egg is incorporated and you feel like the cream cheese mixture is blended well in there. And then we are going to add a 1/4 cup of shredded pepper jack cheese and just mix that in there real well. And then you are ready to put them in the little donut pans. These are just these fun little silicone donut pans that you can get them on Amazon. You can get them at just about anywhere. But I'm going to carefully spoon the mixture into the little donut rings, and I do spray it with a cooking spray with flour. That stuff is like a small miracle. It'll keep it from sticking. Okay, so you just want to take a spoon and you want to carefully just you're going to have to probably use your fingers and just get it around that little well. It makes that donut shape. And then you're going to bake them at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes or until they're golden brown on top. And this recipe makes about 9 of these little savory muffins. Yeah, so while I am putting these in the little donut pan, I wanted to tell y'all about our community of the week. It is Lakewood out in Athens, which I love Athens. I think it is such a quaint, wonderful city. The schools out there are excellent. There's a lot of people who are moving out that way. But Lakewood is going to be a stunning community. It's, of course, going to have all the amenity package, clubhouse, pool, all that great stuff, great lots. The model is almost finished out there, so it won't be long, and you guys can take a look at that beautiful model. And there's downtown Athens, I think, is also so quaint. There's great restaurants. It's just a beautiful little city, so I encourage y'all to go out to Lakewood, take a look, and it's very centrally located, not far from Huntsville Research Park and all that. But Mike is super excited about Lakewood, and he will tell you guys more details shortly when he is here. But I am finished loading these little donut tins, and I am going to bake these at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes, or until they're golden brown on top. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up, put these in the oven, and when we come back, I'm going to show y'all how I make these delicious stuffed tomatoes.
Choosing an appliance can be complicated these days. That's why at Bob Wallace Appliance, we start by asking questions like an occasional cook or a serious chef, something just for you or an army, once a week or once a day. You see, it's not just what we know about appliances, it's what we know about you. Bob Wallace Appliance, locally owned and operated for more than 35 years. Online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
When you select Wolde Flooring's hardwood, you don't just enhance your home, you transform it. With hundreds of beautiful, durable, hand-selected varieties that come with up to a 50-year warranty, you can count on unsurpassed beauty and proven durability that's guaranteed to stand the test of time. When you want the best flooring for your home, come to Wolde Flooring in Madison. WoldeFlooring.com, 256-325-8453.
Since 1983, individuals and businesses in Alabama have relied on Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South for their legal representation. Our experienced attorneys offer high-quality legal counsel in commercial law, real estate, and personal injury litigation. So if you need an attorney, hire the best attorney you can. Call the experienced North Alabama attorneys at Wolf, Jones, Wolf, Hancock, Daniel & South to arrange your initial consultation, because we're dedicated to setting the standard for legal services.
Okay, we're back, and now I am going to make these delicious stuffed tomatoes. I've got the soup is still simmering. I did put the rice in there, and after about 30 minutes, covered it back and let it simmer another 30 minutes with the rice in there. The donuts are in the oven. They're smelling great. So you want to take a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of olive oil and add a half a cup of chopped onion to that. And we're just going to saute it until the onions are softened, about 6 minutes or so. These are a delicious little side dish that goes well with just about anything. It goes great with this soup. It goes great with the grilled pork chop, grilled steak, chicken, what have you. I could just eat them on their own as a meal. So Mike and I went to Italy years ago, and we went to a cooking school for a week, and it was so much fun. They did all the cleaning and all the dirty stuff for you. You just got to be a part of the cooking with the chef and learning different things. And this was one of my takeaways. They do it a lot in Italy. They eat a lot of stuffed tomatoes and frittatas. So this is a really, really good side dish to have in your recipe box. All right, so we're just going to let those saute a little bit more before I add the garlic. I always add the garlic towards the end because I don't want it to cook too much to where it gets that bitter taste. Okay, so those onions are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and add the spinach. So this is a box, I think it's 8 ounces of the chopped spinach you buy in the frozen section. Let it thaw completely, and then you want to drain it real well. I like to, ooh, something just popped. I like to take it and put it in a colander and just kind of squeeze the moisture out of it. As little moisture as possible, the better, because you don't want this to be a runny mixture for your tomatoes. Okay, so we're gonna let that saute in with the onions, and then I'm gonna add in this garlic, and this is 2 to 3 cloves of fresh garlic that I minced. And you just kind of want to keep stirring that spinach around. You know, when when you thaw it and drain it like that, it tends to really bind together. So you just have to work with it a little bit and it'll start to separate. This right here smells so good. Onions, butter, garlic, olive oil, spinach. And you can imagine when you put this mixture in the tomato, and what makes it so good is you put some mayonnaise and Swiss cheese in it. It is good, good. Okay, now I'm gonna turn the heat down and I'm just gonna eyeball it, 3 tablespoons of mayo. And even if you don't like mayo, please try to make this because you won't know it's in there. It's just really, really good. And then I'm just gonna gently stir that around, and I've got the heat on low. In fact, at this point, you can go ahead and just turn the heat off because your onions are sauteed. That way, you don't want the mixture scalding hot whenever you're stuffing the tomatoes. And so for the tomatoes, I didn't do this on camera, but what you do, you take 4 good size or about medium sized tomatoes. I use a strawberry huller, and I just take all the pulp out of the tomato. You can save it and make, guacamole, salsa, whatever with it later, but you do not need it. So you hollow them out as much as you can and sprinkle some salt in them, turn them upside down on paper towels and let them sit for about 30 minutes. That way it draws all that moisture out of the tomatoes. And then that just makes for a really good baked stuffed tomato because you don't want it runny. And all that will be in my recipe. Okay, so it looks like the mayonnaise is broken down and melting in there, and I'm slinging stuff and making a mess. All right, and then we're gonna add a little salt and pepper, teaspoon of each, and then 3/4 cup of shredded Swiss cheese. That's what makes this so very good. And then a tablespoon of grated Parmesan. And I'm just gonna get this mixed, and then I will start stuffing the tomatoes. Okay, you can see how the cheese just kind of melted into that spinach, and now I'm ready to stuff the tomatoes. Just take a spoon and just stuff all that goodness in there. I don't know what it is about the Swiss cheese and garlic and onion and mayo that just makes it delicious. And then I just put them down in a dish, but you just want an oven-proof dish because we're gonna bake these for about 25 minutes on 350. So I hope that y'all will give this recipe a shot. It's really easy and it impress your guests. Something great to have when you have family or friends over for dinner or for a little appetizer. Even for brunch, you could do this with, some kind of quiche or something, or just eggs. It would be great. So the last step, I have cooking spray on this sheet or on this pan, so they're just kind of slip, slide, and that's why I needed a smaller pan. So then I'm just going to eyeball it and sprinkle some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs on the top, just like so. And this adds a nice little finish to it, a little crunch on top. And then, in order to get that crunch, you want to take a little olive oil and just drizzle over the top. And then we're going to bake these at 350 for about 20-25 minutes. And I'm going to get these in the oven. When we come back, Mike will be here to taste all this delicious food.
Hey guys, I wanted to let y'all know about a year ago, me and Bruce Stone started a new company called Stonewood Homes. And Stonewood is a little different business plan than Woodland Homes because Stonewood is a scattered lot home builder, which means if you have a lot and you're looking for a builder, Stonewood is the answer. So if you own a home site or you're looking at building a custom home, give us a call at 830-9000 and let's start building. All right, today we are in one of our most exciting communities, and that is Lakewood. We decided to come over into Athens about a year ago. We did this acquisition, and it's going to be a great community. It's part of what was the old Athens Country Club property. And so this used to be a golf course, so it's beautiful, rolling. And on this particular community, we're going to have about 160 home sites. We have our clubhouse that is we're putting into the front of the community. And so we're going ahead and building our clubhouse, building our swimming pool. It's going to be a really, really, really nice amenity package. And we're getting really close, got production going on, to opening up our model. So this is going to be our model home. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful home. It'll be decorated probably within the next week or so. So we got started out here about 4 or 5 months ago. We're just now completing our first round of homes out here. We've got a pretty good selection of inventory out here. Customer can either come out, and we've got probably 15 homes under construction, then come out, look at a variety of different floor plans, and they can either select something that we've got under construction, or they can pick a home site, and we can start from the ground up. And our build time these days is running about 160 to 180 days, so it's not that long. The build time is dramatically reduced in the past quarter, so we're able to get products available a lot more now than what we used to in the first and the second quarter. So supply chains, straightening up, so build times are getting to be a lot quicker. And but this community, it's about 2 miles from Buc-ee's, okay? So we're getting a Buc-ee's. So it's super convenient to 65, which means that you're going to be super convenient to the new Toyota plant and all the growth between Madison and Athens. School systems are phenomenal. They're as good of a school system here in this particular location as you're going to get in the city of Madison. And shopping is a mile and a half away. So we've got a great location. You've got easy access. So now's a great time to buy. There's great inventory that's on the market. You're not getting into a bidding war anymore. So we just encourage you to visit Lakewood or any one of our communities, or just log on to our website, woodlandhomes.com. So y'all come and see us.
If you're looking to remodel or build your dream home, it all starts at the Dream Studio by Woodland Homes. At Woodland Homes Dream Studio, you'll work with seasoned professionals dedicated to providing you with the very best, whether you're starting from scratch or remodeling. And with thousands of selections to choose from, the Dream Studio offers everything you need at the absolute highest quality, all under one roof. The Dream Studio by Woodland Homes. Live your dream. Call 830-9000 today.
Okay, we're back, and I've got Mike, as promised, in the kitchen with me. So,
Getting ready for fall time, huh?
yeah, I mean, I love my soups.
Yeah, winter around the corner.
It's not that cold today. I told Mike I'd turn the air way down because I have stuffed bell pepper soup. And I made my Italian stuffed tomatoes.
Yeah.
I kind of told the story about Italy.
Yeah, and what are we?
And those are my savory. It's been a while since I've made those little herb savory donuts that go great with soup.
Yeah.
So it's just a simple menu today, but I was telling the viewers about Lakewood. That's a really exciting community that's here.
Yeah. Well, there's
it's almost ready.
There's so much growth that's going on between Madison and Athens and Limestone. I mean, we went out there and acquired a piece of property, I guess, about a year ago, year and a half ago. Going crazy out there. I mean, if y'all go out there and visit, there's, probably 15, 16 houses under construction. Yeah. We're doing our amenity package on the front end. So as right as you come in, the amenity package with a clubhouse, swimming pool. But yeah, Athens is a growing community. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of jobs out there.
It's a great
location cannot beat.
Yeah, it's such a great, quaint city with great little restaurants.
And the school systems actually rank as good as Madison City schools.
I've heard that.
And that's another reason why we went out there is because, wherever you've got good school systems, that's a key thing that we look at. And we look at school systems for value and things like that as well. And, there's been a lot going on with the market right now because interest rates have just, kind of ticked up.
Yeah.
And a lot of buyers have kind of hit pause maybe a little bit because of the uncertainty. But when you actually look at the numbers and you look at what the additional cost is going to be with the higher interest rates, well, we got to keep in mind that that higher interest cost is a deduction, so really it's not, once you get your deduction, it's not that significant.
Yeah.
The second thing is you got to weigh the value of appreciation. Prices are not going to go down. They're not going to go up like they have been going up, but they're still going to go up just because of the imbalance of the demand and the supply.
Yeah.
So people who are thinking about, well, I'm going to sit on the sideline, they're going to sit on the sideline because the interest rates have ticked up where they could get an adjustable rate, buy a cheaper rate now and refinance in 4 or 5 years. But when you look at the difference of what they're paying and what the appreciation is going to be over the next, several years, you're still $15,000 to $20,000 ahead by going ahead and investing into a home.
Right.
So we're seeing people sit on the sideline, but we're also seeing the savvy investors who are looking at, here's my net bottom line, and I'm still going to be in the positive. Those people are taking advantage of the inventory that's coming on the market right now. So we look at this as the best time, the time to go ahead and move forward, whether it be with a pre-sale or whether it be, with an inventory home. And so we're still seeing the sales coming in because people realize that just because rates went up doesn't prevent them from going ahead and moving forward with a good and sound investment into a home.
Well, there you go.
Real estate investment opportunities are phenomenal in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah,
so
we're in our own little sweet bubble over
we
here.
are in a little bubble. I'm glad to be in it too. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, for more information on Woodland Homes, the best way to get started is our website, woodlandhomes.com. We have models open every single day in all of our communities. We have new home sales professionals that can sit down and go over different financing programs to make it affordable for you. And for Melissa's recipes,
you can find them on woodlandhomes.com as well as our Dream Home Cooking Facebook page.
Yep.
And as always, a huge shout out to our wonderful sponsors.
Absolutely. So
and I am starving.
All right. So y'all come out and see us.
All right.